All right, everybody, you are not losing deals because you suck. You're losing them because you don't have a second offer. And right now, wholesalers are walking away from perfectly good leads because the seller said no to cash and they've got nothing else to pivot to. That's where innovations come in. It's not just a buzzword, it's a strategy that can double your deal flow, solve more seller problems, and add 5 figures in profit to deals you'd normally just toss in the trash. Today's guest is Travis Wells. He's showing us how. He's a championship bodybuilder turned real estate assassin who built a business that runs without him, all by leveraging VAs, tight processes, and a Novation model that absolutely prints money. Today, you've got the most fit guy in real estate and probably the least fit guy. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Closers Club. Travis, so
That's
glad
awesome.
to have you here, man. Let's jump right into it. Most investors, they stop the moment like they try to make a cash offer to a seller and that cash offer gets rejected. So what's like that the mindset shift that they need to actually close those sellers with a novation? Like, what does that process look like?
And I get it because, when we started our wholesale company, we were looking for the low hanging fruit. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, how many dials can you make until
Mhm.
you can get that seller that gives you the lowest offer, right?
Yeah.
You and I know that you don't really need the lowest offer to win a deal and to make
Right.
money. You need to solve a problem. And we got into Novations a few years back because we were having to make all those dials, right? And we were like, how can we capitalize on people that actually want to sell? They're motivated, but
Yeah.
the price doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
And we went down the rabbit hole and bought a bunch of education from, everybody in the space doing novations, and we learned them. And, pretty much cash offer doesn't work. Are you okay with us listing your property? That's
Yeah.
the question. That is what we ask. Are you okay
Really.
with us marketing it?
Mhm.
I know a lot of people in the industry have their own little spin on this. We are
Yeah.
straight to the point, straight to the jugular.
I love it. Yeah, and that's even our team. Like I was telling you before, 40% of all of our deals are novations. Our TCs like dealing with these types of deals because it just feels like it's more straightforward. Everybody knows what's happening. There's no surprises. There's just clarity in what's going on.
Yeah. And like the biggest objection I get, and I'm
Mhm.
sure you're gonna have all these questions, but I just have to put it out there is why don't they use their own realtor? Which you get that
Sure.
all the time too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, look, have you ever hired your own realtor? No.
Yeah.
Are you an expert in real estate? No.
Yeah.
I've been doing
Yeah.
this 20 years.
Yeah.
Who do you think's better suited?
Mhm.
Well,
Sure.
probably you. Can we work together? Sure.
Yeah.
That's the conversation.
Yeah. Even when we ran Nationwide Property Liquidators and I had seven or eight acquisitions people, like I would tell them, ask the seller, like, hey, have you thought about listing this property? Have you thought about fixing it up? Have you thought about renting it? Because everybody has thought about listing it with an agent, right? But the reality is it's just a pain in the ass. They don't want to have to go in and do the painting and the repairs and just, handling all the paperwork. Like it's a lot. I'm in this business and I hate realtor paperwork. So I 100% get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you got the good and the bad, right?
Sure.
I get a lot of JV deals that are novations. I turn a lot down because wholesalers maybe don't pitch them straight,
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have a process to where we have to get on the phone and make sure they know that we are going to be marketing their property because we've
Right.
learned the hard way, right?
Yeah. And I don't know that because we see this with new clients that come in with us. Sometimes we have to, coach them up a little bit, but I don't know they're specifically lying, but they're just like omitting things. And then like, oh my God, it's a surprise, right? Especially on subject to deals. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, right? They're trying to pay their bills. They want to
Mhm.
make a deal. They
Yeah.
need it just like they need to breathe. So they're not thinking clearly. And
Right.
so I get it.
So just for people who may be new, like I feel like most of our people are pretty experienced, but just in case, kind of break down like what exactly is innovation and how is it different from a standard wholesale deal?
Yeah. So, I mean, to novate is to replace, right?
Mhm.
You replace one contract with the other. Some people are like, well, damn, you're doing an assignment. You're kind of replacing. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So say that you're new. We'll break it down very simple. An assignment, you have a purchase agreement, you put a property under contract, you assign your equitable rights to that contract to a buyer, right? To an end buyer. All
Yeah.
right. You get a fee for being awesome. Novation, you have the contract,
Mhm.
with some more verbiage that explains, your intentions. Hopefully, you're doing
Mhm.
that for doing novations,
Yeah.
and different state specific. But anyways, um, you find an end buyer by marketing the property.
Yeah.
You let the seller know up front, hey, I'm going to market this property. I am going to send you a purchase agreement. I am not going to
Mhm.
purchase it. You know I'm not going to purchase it. You understand it's not me purchasing it,
Right.
right? And you find the buyer by hiring the agent, handling everything in between. When you find the buyer, you replace your contract
Mhm.
with their contract, and you get paid the in between. However, your title company wants you to do that.
Right. And I think, there are a lot of a lot of people out there who want to watch a reel or a YouTube video and think I can do this. But I think novations are a little bit, it's a step above. We always tell people like, I'm not even going to give you the contracts. You need to go take a course. You need to learn this from somebody because the paperwork is a little bit different, right? There are some very important nuances that have to be followed in order to make this work.
Yeah, and you know as well as I do, different states have cracked down, and you've got to have different
Mhm.
paperwork sometimes in
Yeah.
different places. I know we were doing one in Delaware recently,
Yeah.
and they want us to have a few different disclosures. We're like, all right, whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
we've been doing it for years, and we still learn new stuff all the time. I completely
Mhm.
agree. I don't think
Yeah.
a wholesaler that's never done one should do one on their own.
No, no. I mean, I'm sure you've been in groups too where someone's like, "Can just someone send me novation paperwork? I think I've got a deal." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, no, 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 no. You're gonna," or even worse, is subject to deals like that. It just screams like you're going to crash somebody's financial future because you don't understand what you're doing. Right? It's a little different than a wholesale deal. So when you guys are on the phone, let me tell you how I did. I was always looking for, what is the best solution for this seller in this particular situation, right? So, for somebody who jumps on the phone and they're talking to, a seller, what is something that like they should hear that just screams novation? Like, what are the signs that probably a lot of people miss and go by? What should they be looking for?
I've got plenty of time to sell,
Yeah.
right? I've got plenty of time to sell, and I
Hmm.
haven't ever updated this property, but it's clean. Like we live here,
Yeah.
me and my family live here. We got plenty of
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
Those words scream novation to me,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because I come across wholesalers that are like, "Can we do a novation?" I'm like, "When do they need to close?" 2 weeks. I'm like what?
Have you ever sold a house? Do you understand what the process is?
Right? I'm like, we need 60 days, right? Like
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. Have
Like
you
to
ever gotten a
find,
loan?
yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting a loan. It's gonna take a bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. It's people can definitely have unrealistic expectations, and I love too on the other side where you're telling the seller, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what's going to happen. These are the steps. This is the things that we're gonna have to go through to get this deal done for you."
Yeah. I'll I mean, we've been doing it a while, so we have a lot of tools in our tool belt. And I like what you
Mhm.
said. I completely agree. And I think people brush over that a lot. And they shouldn't, but it's what's best for the seller that can
Mhm.
make everybody win.
Right.
Right? If the seller tells me the key words, hey, I've got time, it needs updates, it sounds good, but then they're like, hey, I have this realtor that's helped us move over the last 10 years and they're awesome. I'm not your best fit because I'm
Yeah.
probably not local. And yes,
Mhm.
I'm an expert, but they're
Yeah.
probably better than me in that market. I'm not pitching innovation. But if they
Mhm.
say I've got a brother-in-law that's never sold a house, that got his license, I'm gonna be like, I think I'm a better fit.
Right, right. And that's something I talk about a lot. Our job as investors is to come in, is to make the situation better.
Yeah,
you know, that we have knowledge and we have talent and we have all of those things. And, we want to bring that to the situation and help that seller kind of get to whatever it is, the end game that they're looking for. Right. I always joke and say, hey, Mrs. Smith, I know you need to sell your house quick because your cat has psoriasis and you need to move to Arizona, right? Whatever that is. But too many times, they're just uneducated wholesalers or, they just don't know what they don't know. And they can come in and make these situations worse by just mucking up a deal. And, because when we tell somebody that we're going to buy their house, like they believe it, they in their brain, they're like, okay, I need to start packing up. I need to start doing these things. So it's so important that we understand, what's happening and make sure that we can do everything we say because we're in that trust economy, right? People do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah, completely agree. I do a lot of
Mhm.
lives like on Facebook and stuff. I do a
Mhm.
lot of closings and live, and people are always like, "How did you get away with saying that?" And what
Yeah.
they mean is, like, I legit don't have any buzzwords. Like,
Yeah.
literally, the way I'm talking to you is how I talk to them. I'll
Yeah.
tell them about the comps. I'll tell them what I can do, what I
Yeah.
can't do, what I do know, what I don't know. Can we do
Mhm.
something?
Yeah.
And people just they don't realize that if they were just honest and transparent,
My
how much
God,
more
yes.
deals they would do and how much
Mhm.
easier they would be.
Yeah. Well, there's no advantage to lying. I used to teach dispositions a lot, and kind of what I would explain to people is, like, if your house is a shithole, show the pictures of it. Like, do not
Yeah,
ever mislead people because it's never going to work, right? Like, it's going to come back and get you. I get it. You get the rush at the very beginning. I got the contract. I'm going to be rich. Order the jet. But at the end, it's going to always come out in the wash, right? Like, we can't lie to a seller. Like, you have to tell them we're going to have people come through and look at the house, but hey, I'm going to handle all the hard stuff for you. You just literally, you open the door, I'm going to take care of everything else. Or you put a lockbox on, I'll take care of it. But I remember there was a situation. I know you've been doing this a long time, back in probably 2010 or 11, and I was just bidding on houses on online, just all the time. And this realtor, had pictures of this house, sent an offer in. I got it. I went over to walk the house, Travis, and, like, I walk in and there's literally an 8-foot hole in the ceiling. Like, you could see into upstairs. Like, that wasn't in any fucking pictures. Like that, like, changes shit. Don't be dishonest. Just tell the truth.
yeah, yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Did you end up having to
No,
eat
no,
crow?
I bounced out. It was, luckily it was, before my EMD. It was local, so my EMD wasn't even in. I ran over there with my agent to look at it, and I'm like, "This is bullshit. We're like, this is stupid." And that really, like, it impacted me. And whenever I do marketing, I always try to look at it from our buyer's point of view, right? Now, I'm not saying surprises didn't come up. We would have buyers that would go over and be like, "Hey, man, I know you didn't know this, but, like, there's a wall full of bees."
Yeah,
Nobody tells you, and then you adapt those things on the fly. But I know I never wanted to, and we never tried to hide anything. Like, a buyer's going to walk through, they're going to see that, whatever, there's a tree on the roof. Like, using some Google image from 4 years ago isn't going to help.
yeah.
So
I've got VAs that do dispo, and
yeah.
usually, we just lock two up before. I got a VA closers too. They just lock
Mhm.
two up, and
Yeah.
it'll go over to dispo. And when they get it, dispo will blast the buyers in that area, and the
Hmm.
buyers always have their questions. Where's the pictures, right? Which you should have,
Yeah.
but we just locked it up, and I'm like, hey, go and
Yeah.
blast it. And where's your pictures? Do you know this and that? And they're trained. They'll say, look, if you want a first look, take the
Hmm.
pictures. We don't
Yeah.
know anything. This is what the seller told us. You know
Hmm.
how that goes. And they always
Yeah.
say, yeah, and we're good that way. Then we get
Hmm.
their feedback.
Yeah. So talk about that, because I know you do a lot of stuff with VAs. Like, what roles are they playing in your business? And how did you build that system without it falling apart, right? Because
Yeah,
even if you have an in-house people, you've churned. We all churn through people, right?
yeah,
But VAs, like, I've had some that have stayed with me a long time, but I've had some that have been kind of in and out.
yeah. It's the same with people or people, right?
Mhm.
Just to start off, I've had some of the same VAs for years,
Yeah.
and I incentivize them more on bonuses than
Hmm.
hourly. They do get raises in hourly, but they're not huge. They get
Yeah.
bigger bonuses so that
Hmm.
the producers produce. But that's in you
Sure.
know, any of our, the cream rises to the top.
Hmm.
But it took me a few. I would say it took me 2 years to stabilize it because everybody's like, "You're crazy." I had an American team.
Hmm.
I was making a lot of revenue, but I wasn't making money.
Right.
And I was like, man, I don't know how to sustain this, and
Hmm.
plus it was babysitting.
Yeah.
And I just said, I don't want this isn't for me. I love this
Mhm.
industry, but I'm not enjoying this. So I just scrapped it. And then I
Yeah.
hired an executive assistant, trained the piss out of them every day. Right.
Hmm.
And
Is that a virtual EA
virtual,
or?
yeah,
Oh, really? Okay.
virtual EA, and I'm like, hey, this is all the stuff I like doing, which is calling, right? At the time, you do
Right.
everything else. And then I'd
Yeah.
hop on a Zoom every day. This is how you handle
Yeah.
it. So we ended up building this big training library. And
Mhm.
then, we hired a bookkeeper, then we hired acquisitions, then we hired a dispo, then we just kept going that way. But we have
Mhm.
this huge training library to
Mhm.
this day. So, like, if I bring on acquisitions, they got to go through a couple days of training. Then they come to me and we'll do a role play. And if they can't role play with me right when they meet me, they're
Yeah.
not a fit.
Nice. I
right?
think that's so important because I know I struggled with that when I was building my real estate business. And I tell people all the time, like I was the worst example of somebody scaling. Like I did not want to give up any control. I was the I can do everything. Nobody's as smart as me guy. And I remember back in the day, my brother wanted to hire VAs. And I'm like, no, man, I don't want to bring people in. And then I have to train them and retrain them. So I think what you did is really smart. And I don't know if you've ever read Dan Martell's book. What is it?
Buy back your time.
Thank you. I can
Yeah,
see it in my brain. I need to keep a book here. I promote this damn book so much. But yeah, that's what he says is build that kind of live video training library and, let them train future people.
yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. There's hurdles, right? Like in
Hmm.
any business, like fall in the face. They screwed this up. They messed this
Hmm.
deal. They messed. But then we're like, okay, how can we get better? How can we? But that's any business, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
I mean, my core group is still there. We still churn outsiders when they come in, like you would
Hmm.
any business. But we
Yeah.
have a great core group. I can go on vacation. We're gonna get deals locked up. We're gonna dispo stuff, which dispo is our weakness still. But
Really.
yeah, dispo still are. We still dispo stuff, but it is our weak. We're very very strong in acquisitions. Very
Okay.
strong. Um, but the bookkeeping, I got a financial firm that audits them. We have
Mm,
systems for everything.
nice. And I think that's important. That's one thing that we speak about or a lot, or I speak a lot, is you just can't do it all yourself. It's absolutely impossible. It's like literally you're just juggling dynamite, waiting for one of them to go off in your hand. But I love what you said. You love being on the phone doing acquisitions. Me, I love doing dispo. But you know, I I had to come to terms with the fact that I couldn't possibly be the bookkeeper and the property manager and the transaction coordinator and the all of the different things. I had to figure that out and bring in people who were just experts at that and or people that I could train to do it so that I could like love my life. Right. I didn't want to feel like I was just grinding through stuff that I freaking hated every day.
Yeah, and I've got VAs that manage over 300 doors or something like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That
They manage it all, so
really.
we have all that too.
Hmm. So they actually do your property management.
They do my property management. Everything's virtual. They have a list of just like you would in any other property management
Hmm.
company. They have a list of contractors. They
Hmm.
run the Appfolio system.
Really.
They collect the rents. They do the
Yeah.
late fees. They do the evictions. They have
Mhm.
contact with the people at each court in each jurisdiction. Like I mean,
No
they got it
kidding.
down. You know.
Wow, that's impressive. That's
Yeah.
really impressive. How long did that take to get set up and going?
A couple of years, like
Yeah. That,
because yeah, my background, I didn't start out wholesaling. I was the buyer. I didn't even know what a wholesale. I learned what a wholesale was years back when I was
mhm.
selling a motel that I
Yeah.
owned, and a wholesaler locked it up, and I didn't even know he was a wholesaler. And he's having people come out, and I'm like, bro, what the hell's going on? He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like,
Mm.
dude, come on. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm finding a buyer. I was like, whatever, do what you got to do. And then I'm like, all right.
Wow. That's yeah. That's wild stuff. Hey, I'm going to throw your Facebook up here so that I know that's you said the easiest way for people to connect with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best way.
Cool. So again, the reason I saw you was we're in a mutual group, but I know you're doing a ton of like just live, live, live streams. Golly, I couldn't spit that out. But you also have a coaching program. Kind of talk about that a little bit. What do you do?
Yeah, I have a group called Wholetails. I just think it's a
Mhm.
cool name, right? We do more than wholesale properties.
Yeah.
When I started originally, I used to flip a ton, and
Okay.
one day I stopped because I hated it, and I just started. I threw away ARV, right? I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't exist anymore. What is it worth now, as is?
Right.
What
Right.
can I buy it for? I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
What is it worth, and what can I sell it for in 60 days if I put it on the market?
Love that.
And I threw the flipping out. I started making
Mhm.
way more money with way
Yeah.
less headache doing that. I was like,
Mhm.
man, I should start a group like down
Yeah.
years later, and I did, and it
Mhm.
kind of caught traction. And I mean, we go over novations, hotels, everything in there.
Yeah.
We got like 60 members. It's like $500 a month to be in there. We do
Mhm.
two calls a week, and I'm usually going through everybody's hurdles, struggles,
Mhm.
deals.
Mhm.
A big thing of mine is to get them right now is if they are doing business, even if they're not, to get on social media, put themselves out there, even if
Yeah.
build their brand and
Mhm.
do their
So important.
do their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember years ago, I had a friend of mine. He's a professor at the University of Tennessee here, and he was their first social media professor, like I don't know, God, maybe 10 years ago now. And I remember him saying, like, you need to be filming more. And I'm like, bro, I have a face for radio. I don't want to be, I don't want to be doing this. And, it, it's so powerful because what happens is when you start talking to people, especially if you want to borrow money or private lenders, like you become the real estate guy, not only the borrowing, but somebody is following you and they're like, oh my God, I need somebody that can solve this real estate problem for me. Then you become that guy. Don't hide it. Don't be afraid of, putting yourself out there and saying, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm walking this property, or hey, I'm working on this deal, or hey, here's what's going on in my world. If that's what you do, you have to tell people. Having a brand and it's getting more and more and more important.
It's the best way to attract your audience.
Yeah.
They're either going to like you or they're not. And if
Yeah.
they don't, great. And
Yeah.
like attracts like, like I do bodybuilding. So I'm in like bodybuilding trunks all the time. And, some people might.
Dude, you are jacked. I look at your pictures and I'm like, holy shit, good for you, man. That's amazing.
But,
So much
like attracts like, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. And, for me, I'm always mystified that people follow me, but like, I'm, old trustworthy guy, right? Like I've been doing it for a million years. So, maybe that's what attracts people to us. And we actually really do this business, not like some of these kids that are flashing, fake Rolexes and rented Lambos.
Yeah.
So cool. So the best way for people to find you is on Facebook, and then kind of get connected and see all the stuff. Dude, that's an amazing deal. $500 a month for all of that. That I'm in a lot of, I don't say that. I'm connected with a lot of people in the industry, and I know that's just a ton of value for a really low price.
I'm a big fan of like Alex Hermosi, right? And he's always
dude. Did you get his new book?
I've been listening to it on Apple Podcasts. I actually just full transparency. I just chapter 3. I read it 4 times.
Yeah.
And when I finished the 4th time, I got with one of my vendors and we put out one of his offers for one of my workshops coming up. And leads started rolling in. The dude's smart.
Dude, I just got the book today. It like 2 hours ago, it just showed up. So I just posted a picture. It's absolutely amazing. It's stunning how smart he is and how good he is at all of the marketing.
Yeah, but put an offer out there that's just stupid to say no to. It's pretty it's common sense, and that's what I wanted to do with the group.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Last question. I'm going to put you on the spot here. You ready? All right. If you had to close a Novation deal this week with just a phone, a VA, and a CRM, what are the first moves that you would make to get that deal and to get it closed?
Is it a closing VA? Like a closing?
I'm going to let you pick, man.
All right, cool. So I have closer VAs. I would rather have a disposition VA, for a Novation. And this is why.
Really?
Yeah. So I think Novations are easy to lock up. Now, they're not easy through the process. You know what you're doing. But to lock up, think about it. If you're being super honest with a seller, they've been getting beat down, but it's a true Novation deal. And you say, hey, are you okay with me marketing your property? I'll cover closing costs. Yeah, cool. That's easy. Anybody can eat that. Here's what sucks. Finding the right realtor.
Yes.
Here's what I've done. I've trained my disposition VA to blast all the agents within 1 mile of that property.
Okay.
All right. Would you list this property for me in Houston, Texas? Whatever. I don't put the address. 50 agents don't respond. You get like 3 or 4 responses. Yes.
They're the laziest people ever, but yeah.
But if you just single dial all of them, it's going to take you all day. But if you just send that blast, 5 minutes later, you're going to have 3 or 4 yeses. My VA sends it to me and I interview them.
Oh, nice.
That's how I would do it. And I would save my whole day for more acquisitions.
Love it. So you are a fan of local realtors, not these flat fee listing services?
I hate flat fee. I want the local.
They're the worst. We try to tell our clients all the time, the people that we have that are successful, that are cranking out business every single time are using, a local agent. Do not be afraid to pay someone 3%. My God, you're hiring their expertise.
I will never discount a service professional ever. Yes. If I have to do that, I will not do the deal.
Yeah. Same for me. That was when I was wholesaling and flipping a lot. Like I was doing like 5 houses a month. People would ask me, why don't you just get your license and do it yourself? 1, because I don't want to fucking get my license. 2, like that is what they're a professional at. And if I have to become a professional at that, then it's taking away time from the shit that I should be doing every day, which is going out and finding deals and making sure they're being rehabbed correctly.
Absolutely. That's how I'd handle it. I'd have to dispo VA because they would give me a day of my time back.
You're buying back your time, man. Perfect way to end this. Travis, thank you so much, man. I really enjoyed this. Hopefully we can schedule this and do it again.
Hell yeah.